Hello everybody, welcome back to XCOM 2. This video is going to be slightly different since I'm going to be playing the War of the Chosen DLC this time. I've been playing it for a few days already. Just trying to get lay of the land and figure out what the ins and outs of it are. I'm going to kind of cover, or at least try to cover, some of the basic differences between the XCOM 2 standard. I mean, obviously it has its DLC with there too, but also the differences in this DLC. So a couple of the main differences are obviously the Chosen, three big sort of mini bosses that drop in and out of like battles depending on what's going on and what region you're in. And with them they also introduced three new types of troops that we can utilize: the Reapers, Skirmishers, and the Templars. And they each have their own unique abilities and what they actually do in battle. Reapers are essentially like little marksmen, like our snipers were. I'll go ahead and just pull them up. And they focus a lot more on stealth and doing things sort of like below the radar in the actual battle, so they're not exactly like snipers, but they function very similarly. And you'll get to see some of their abilities in this next battle that I'm going to be doing, and then maybe introduce you to one of the new mission types as well that include an enemy called the Lost, which you may or may not have seen already from other YouTubers and streamers playing. But we have the Templars, and they basically are psionic. They're like a psionic worshipping cult, and they utilize a lot of psionic abilities that they believe that the Advent are siphoning away from the planet, so that's what they primarily focus on, and their main weapons are psionic blades, so they're mostly a melee class. But they do have that little machine pistol on their hip for like Overwatch shots and things of that nature. And I'll go over some of those abilities in battle as well. Not necessarily... Well, actually, let's go ahead and just take a look at the skill tree. Since this is slightly different than what you have noticed from the previous skill tree with everyone else, and they still have those, but you can also change their abilities this way as well. And if you'll notice up at the top right of this board, it has the XCOM AP, which is Action Point, and Soldier AP, and these points are earned by doing special things in battle, and that's how you actually purchase and upgrade your unit to do these new moves as they earn promotions and such. So, but you can, for instance, go back and say, I wanted this Aftershock ability, which target struck by Volt, which is one of his other abilities. It's a psionic force lightning, sort of. Target struck by Volt will be easier to hit, increasing your squad's aim by 15 points, which it's kind of like holo targeting, except, you know, we only get a one-time use out of it. It's not terribly useful in my mind. But I could purchase it with his 3 soldier points and then also take away from the overall XCOM action points that have been earned. So it would be 3 soldier and 7 XCOM points, as you can read right there as well, if I wanted him to learn that skill just right now. I wouldn't have to wait for a promotion or anything like that. But I don't particularly want to at the moment. And you see how he has the 4 trees right there: Psyblade, Dynamo, and Sage. And then you got that little one at the bottom, XCOM, which is essentially like abilities that each one of the other classes can earn, but they may not actually have it, you know? So this allows other classes to actually garner abilities from different classes. Like Reaper, I believe that is it's the Ranger ability that allows you to successively hit people with your sword or axe if you are one of the axe users, which I actually do. But it's kind of a down and dirty way of breaking down the way that we rank up now. I actually kind of like it. It creates a lot more flexibility with the actual people, so that way you don't have to be married to something, you know? You can go back and add the other one if you wanted it. Like, say, you know, you didn't really like one of the ones in the major, but you liked one of the ones down at the corporal. Like, you might be able to go back and do that. Just ideas. And the other is the skirmisher. And the skirmisher is essentially an advent who has left the cause and is fighting against them in their own little way, so they're deserters essentially. Go ahead and give you a gander. Yeah, so he's advent. It's kind of neat actually. Shows dissension in the ranks. And what his main weapon is that little submachine gun right there. It looks a little bit different because I got it upgraded at least once. Plus it's got some mods on it that I've added on. But he has a lot of interesting abilities, most of which deal with his little grapple hook. So he's able to grapple, much like if you used the different type of armor that has a grapple hook. Can't remember what it's called right now. Spider suit, I think it is. Well, either way, you can grapple up to a place and you have a vantage point from there, or you can utilize Justice or Wrath, which will either pull you to an enemy and then you'll punch them, or pull them to you and then you'll punch them. So that's what the Ripjack does, and that's one of his, basically his main, you know, appeal, I suppose, because you're able to move people around into much more advantageous positions than if you were just fighting on like standard. And again, he's able to get some things that the XCOM people could learn. I think reflex each turn, the first turn. That's a ranger ability. That's a grenader ability. Like, as you can see how it's starting to build up. But those are the 3 new classes anyway. And if you'll notice, we also have these little award-looking things that are right next to the classes. You know, what that is a bond between soldiers. So once, that's one of the new additions to this DLC, is essentially once soldiers actually go into battle more often with each other, they actually start to garner a bond. It makes them more efficient in battle depending on what you actually, if you rank it up and make them better. The first bond that you can get is essentially letting, let's say, Elena and Eric, they're bonded.
The
you can see how
commander
their icon is also green, so they're level 2 bonded.
On learning to fly this boat.
From what I've seen,
The first ability that you're able to garner and actually use for that is allowing the other member to move again. So say Eric blasted through all of his shots or moved and shot, and then his turn was over, and then Elena came up and was able to do a move. She could use that ability to give Eric another shot. So he could essentially fire off 3 whole rounds during combat, and then as opposed to Elena being able to move and shoot. So allowing you to have maybe your heavier hitting or better positioned soldier move again. Or move them out of a bad situation if they happen to be one. But you can level up your bonds in this place called the training center. It's one of the new places you can build. And right now I have people who are available to increase their bond. I want to use Julie here in a minute, so I'm not going to do that one. Maybe I'll send these 2. And there you have what's going to happen when you build up that bond once they're done actually, like, you know, working together and in this training center and becoming more connected, I guess is a good way of putting it. So they'll get covert operators want a covert action together. The duration is reduced by 1 day. So the covert operations, which I'll go over here in a minute, it was the resistance ring. They're little side missions that you can send your soldiers on without having to worry about tending yourself on one. Plus you get benefits of it, but I'll go for it. And then they also get the Spotter 1 ability and the Stand By Me, which both have bonus effects from you just being around the other player in combat. It's incredibly interesting addition that I really like, actually. And that brings me to the resistance ring. This is the place where we do something called covert actions for our new factions. So the Reapers, the Skirmishers, and the Templars. The Reapers are just like that sharpshooter guy, or lass, and she came from this section, and the only way, unfortunately, to get more of her class, because you can't just train someone to be any one of these 3 classes, which I was a little bit disappointed about, but it makes sense. XCOM is very niche. It has a few things it can do. These groups were on their own, essentially little guerrilla factions, and in that state of mind they do covert operations that are where you it's kind of like Assassin's Creed when you can send off your guys to go do different missions without you having to, or you just garner the benefits of them doing something, really. And that's exactly what this is. Right now I have them doing, let's see, Ray and Hugo are actually out getting another Reaper because I just wanted an extra one. But say I wanted to do this one, I would get a superior weapon upgrade, I would get a facility lead, or a lead on a facility, so, you know, find out if there's an Advent project facility that's on a place that I hadn't been to yet. Increase the income for that region. Hunt for the Chosen. Each group has a hunt for the Chosen once you actually find them, and that's how you find the actual Chosen and stop them from jumping into battles, much like with the Alien Hunters DLC from the original XCOM 2, where after you unlocked that DLC they just kept dropping these big baddies into your missions. The Chosen do that. So you have to actually hunt for them so that they stop, one, getting stronger, because every time you defeat them they get stronger, and 2, so you can just finally kill them before they actually raid XCOM as a whole. And you can upgrade so you can do more than one covert mission at a time, but I had already sent one out by the time I decided to upgrade this. So the map is also slightly different, basically the same. There's not a whole lot of like nuances that are going to be vastly surprising, but you do get to see a couple of there's things that are laid out differently. Like now, instead of having the one headquarters that we could go to, we have 3 Reapers, Skirmishers, and the Templars, and they each do different things. The Templars heal your wounded faster, the Skirmishers build faster, so say you're excavating, it'll make it go faster, and the Reapers headquarters give you intel the longer you scan there, so it's just like the original one, only the Reapers. And also you can see regions where the Chosen are actually active by the little red men that sit on the table. So we have 2 in Asia, essentially, and I have been fighting them both. It's really annoying. I'm actually, the mission that we're going to try and do today is actually doing her mission, so let's hope that works out alright. And doing the hunt for them is the Chosen Strongholds, and you need to go through all 3 hunts to actually find them. And that's one of the covert, that's the covert operation going on, the little fist. Little neat things. It's all basically the same though. Okay. And the Shadow Chamber was something that I had not built yet in the other playthrough that we've been going through, and it lets you know the types of enemies that are probably going to be in the mission. So there's a couple that I have not seen yet in this playthrough, and it lets me know how many are actually going to be in the mission, so it's extremely useful. Probably should have bought it.
Avenger plotting new course.
So let's go kill the first Chosen.
That's where
Okay, just to start off, you can kind of see right now that there's that little green bar underneath the health bars. That's new. It's essentially a stamina bar / will, and if you, it makes it so that you can't really repeatedly use the same troops all the time, otherwise their will gets weak and they panic easier, they don't shoot as well, like several detrimental things. It's actually kind of interesting that they introduced essentially battle fatigue into this game, something that had not been in previously. It actually adds a different element and allows you to be a lot more selective with how you actually use each one of the guys. You don't overuse them, so to speak. Wow, that frame rate though. Alright. So, just to kind of give you a little... Also, look, you can actually check to see what benefits are on a particular target, or one of your characters in-game as well, something I didn't do with the other for some reason. But you can see as a level 2 bond with Eric, she actually has those Stand By Me and Spotter 1 also. Pretty useful stuff. Alright, so... because she is far more stealthy, people will not see her as readily. So I can be a little bit more liberal with the way that I move her.
Covering ground.
Because that's one of the benefits of this particular class. They're super stealthy, so it's really hard for the enemy to actually get a beat on them.
I go where you tell me. The time for hiding is over. Alien scouting party.
Alright, they did not.
Well, we weren't expecting to sneak in here today.
So we have a
Let's take these
mechanized
things out.
troop. Looks like a priest, a purifier, and a shield bearer, I think.
I did.
Alright then, here we go. So priest is one of the new troops as well. I realized that you guys haven't been playing with me. So hopefully someone hit him. Damn, they all missed except for Eric.
I know where you are. Return to your god.
So, that is also one of her abilities. She is still concealed while everyone else is not. And depending on if she kills her target, because that's one of her abilities, she has a chance to reveal or not to reveal. And I believe I unlocked the ability that if she kills the target, no one knows where she is, which is incredibly useful when you're trying to be sneaky. So I'm going to bring this priest to me.
For the fallen.
Or try and fail. That works too.
This world is
So this is the Templar. Uses his psionic blades. For some reason that didn't kill that thing. Irritating, actually. Alright, they go into a sort of stasis. Since I hit him though, I get the ability called Parry, which does allow me to block an incoming attack.
Hey, why is it going?
Attack this mech. If lucky, I'll be able to actually make him mine. Oh goodness. Yeah. Alright, so now I have the mech on my side too. I can use him as a scout. That.
Drago! Vengeance has come. Interference.
Right, the skirmisher is 0 for 2 right now. That is not incredibly useful. He's putting Eric in stasis. Fortunately, all that does is just not hurt me.
Possible intel located.
Their casualties grow. Ammunition is low.
Right. That went pretty well, actually.
I'm trusting you here.
Despite everyone having this
I'm on
bad
it.
habit of missing.
I will reposition.
This thing looks ready to smash something.
Is that an
3
environment
codex
suit? Maybe something that can't
and an
handle our
controller.
atmosphere?
Those emissions could be toxic. I advise caution,
Boy.
Commander.
For the Templars! The Elders have protected them well.
You will never hide from me. The only fate possible for aliens. My ammunition is nearly depleted.
But if you say so.
It's dead. It has to be dead.
So, you can see he just got a promotion earned. If I'm not mistaken, doing a flanked shot also unlocks an ability point. Of course, I could just be wrong. That works too.
Heading out! Scanning!
I move.
Really? You can't see it? Wow. Okay then. That's frustrating. Well,
Non-evade detection.
Went off the armor!
Take from the
so
Elders.
executed,
Stop.
as you just
Position
saw,
is flank.
was one of the mods that I put onto his gun. And what it does is, well, that
We
one
all
has a
saw that thing
5%
go
chance
down. Now what the hell
of
is it
instantly
doing?
killing the thing it shot at. So that's convenient. God, I hate that move.
I have sight beyond vision.
Blocks an incoming
They
attack.
made us move against me!
Neat.
It is not our will that you
Selena
suffer.
is...
Humanity's sacrifice will be great, but
Break for my people!
Suffer. It will be done.
I really dislike that clone ability.
No place for you to go now.
These chrysalids seem a little smaller than I
good.
remember. Then again,
Chrysalids.
it was never
I
really
believe
their
I've
size
mentioned
we
this
had to
in
worry
previous
about.
disliked by bastards. Alright then.
The mark betrays you.
On your order! Hit! too close. I will always find you.
Their journey ends here.
Missed!
Hard target, There's minimal nowhere damage. to hide.
Blade Storm is amazing, by the way.
You cannot run. Just a little off. I can't move. Barely registered. Right. That one hurt.
Jesus Christ. If she dies with that on, more chrysalids will spawn from her corpse. Oh my god.
Hostile terminated.
Already there.
Well done, Menace 1-5.
Alright, so now it's
See
time to
you
take
on the
on
other
the
side.
Chosen.
Finally!
You will never hide from me.
Yes, Commander. Don't be done.
Fuck's sake!
Focus my strikes.
Draxel, you're being absolutely useless.
My mark!
Got it covered.
Check it before you get too close.
It's inside me! Beyond vision. The time is now.
So the ability I
One of
just
many.
used, no matter what would have happened if I had missed, she would have still stayed concealed. Face herself.
At last, a true battle. You have done well, XCOM. Know that you have earned a good death.
Right, she wasn't there. Well, that's unfortunate. Now I need to figure out where she's
I
going to
will
be.
move.
She has two main weaknesses, the Reaper class and also
I will not
explosives.
waver.
It's an interesting weakness.
Reloaded.
Whistling past.
And she's immune to Overwatch shots, so me doing that is actually basically useless.
Make your peace.
Okay, so now she's dazed.
You only delayed the inevitable. Bent that moment. I call upon the elder
And she summoned
forces to
one of the
serve thee.
guards. Great. Yeah, but he's about to get a reaction shot. Never mind. Mot's useless. Stop moving again.
Not even close.
The shadows fail us.
So,
Soldier
she got
down.
close enough
Get 'em
to
back up,
the
ASAP.
Outcrier to actually see her, but because the Outcrier actually saw her, now she can never hide. That is one of the abilities of the Reaper class. She is about to have a very bad day.
A delicate placement.
So, the Claymore is her grenade, essentially, and it does a lot more damage to her than normal stuff, and any one of the troops can shoot it. Because I want her to take a lot more damage, I'm actually going to go ahead and hit it with a rocket, so that'll double up the weakness that she has. Well, I have to move to do it. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and rend that guy.
For the Templars!
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and wake up Julie so she can't be kidnapped. Because your troops can be kidnapped
You
by the
cannot
Chosen,
hope to ever attain the power
unless
of
you
the elder,
wake them up, essentially.
much less those who serve them.
Brian is going to do me a solid
What's over there?
and blow up that Claymore with a rocket, causing double explosive damage, as I believe. One hit.
Doctor, the device appears to be some sort of psionic capacitor,
now
transferring
you take that
tremendous
thing
amounts
out.
of psionic energy to...
Since I would rather... Now I get to shoot again. Here is that Bond move that I mentioned. So now, he gets to shoot again, dealing much more damage than she would have against it.
You did not think it would be that easy, did you?
They moved to flank this position.
That's annoying.
You can never escape my sight.
They're trying to flank us!
I'm hoping that's a good thing.
Yes, the regeneration process has been interrupted. Readings on the capacitor indicate it has become highly unstable.
Then let's target that Chosen with everything we've got.
We will be avenged. Interference.
He is just doing absolutely nothing. It's really annoying, actually.
Devastate them.
The target is marked.
Damn it, find some cover!
Well, I suppose I'll get to test that mind control theory.
Of my head!
another on equal footing. How exhilarating. For that, you have my gratitude.
I will reposition. I know where you are.
Finally.
Where's strike surge's force?
The time for hiding is over.
Let's see if we can end this in a single swipe, yeah?
X-ray neutralized.
Have fought well, XCOM. May you reclaim this world for your own.
So, just got back from that mission, and we actually, as an added benefit for defeating the Chosen, aside from the fact just having that bitch off of our case, we do get to have her weapons, apparently. That's exciting. I'm really interested to see what those are going to do in battle. And we got quite a few advanced items. Alright. Defeating the Chosen doesn't take anything off of
They
the
were
Advent
no
project.
pushovers.
That's
Siblings,
amazing.
that is. So I guess you must be a little dangerous.
Anyway,
after all.
I'm going to go ahead and leave off here. I've been recording now for an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm going to have a lot of cutting to do and making this all work. But I might do one more video just illustrating some of the other stuff that's actually in the DLC. Like, not all of it, clearly. I mean, you just saw one of the big battles, and that took me quite a while to finish. But I want to bring in some of the other stuff, like the stuff with the Lost that I mentioned prior to, and some other updates and upgrades that we can actually get through. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and tap the like button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.